that can only mean one thing. Team Charles from Charles D'Angelo here in studio. Good morning, Charles D'Angelo.
It's that time again.
So before we talk about your side, we have a couple of seconds here. I find it interesting that of all the things that they come and ask me to sponsor.
Sure. That I never will and never have.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No. That they do not come to me and sponsor, because this is not a sponsored segment at all. This is not. This is just me having you on the show once a month to talk about weight loss.
Well, talk about your history.
No, but hold on. But the reason why I don't sponsor things is because the people who sell the garbage know it's garbage and I won't do it. So you're on here as our weight loss coach, and my struggles with the weight, I'm a Duncan yo-yo. I go up and down, and when you're going good, you're going good, and when you're going bad, you're going bad. But it's hysterical to hear all the weight loss garbage out there.
The pills, the drinks.
Right, and it's all it is doing what you're supposed to do, which is eating right and exercising.
And thinking correctly.
Yeah.
Having the right mindset about it all. And that's what I wanted to talk about today was I thought a lot about what we were discussing last time I was here, and you had said, I've lost probably 500 or 600 pounds over my lifetime. And I thought, what a wonderful way to introduce Charles D'Angelo, the weight loss coach. Okay? And I said to myself, why is it? Why is it that so many people, especially around this time of year, they get started, they're doing really well. Some people lose 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds, then something happens, something clicks, and they start that downward death spiral,
right,
where they start going back to the pattern that brought them to my office in the first place. So I started to think about what is it that usually causes that. And what I came to conclude, having once weighed 360 pounds myself, was most people get off of track when they experience something in their world that shakes their sense of certainty. In other words, we all like to feel like we're in control of what's happening. Anytime something happens that threatens that, think about when we hear there's going to be a really bad snowstorm. Or recently and tragically with the Ferguson issues, all this unrest, it makes us really question and doubt a lot of what we feel secure about. So what do people do psychologically? They look to change how they feel, getting that sense of certainty back. Many people in America have conditioned themselves to change how they feel using substances. In the majorative, food. So what they do then is, let's say they have a great job, they have a great family, 2.5 kids, traditional American family, and all of a sudden they lose their job unexpectedly. They've lost 65 pounds, but now they're out of work. Now, what they knew to be true isn't true anymore. So they look to reestablish it. So they look outside themselves and they start reaching for food. Now, the truth is, if you can get out of this pattern, you can avoid gaining all that weight. The problem isn't the issue, isn't the circumstance. It's the way that you think about the circumstance. For example, when something happens in our world that questions our certainty and we internalize it, when we make it, it's because of us. In other words, I lost my job. You see, I'm a failure. I'm no good. You feel guilty. You feel shameful about it. You start that self-destructive pattern. You say, forget about the weight loss. Forget about working out. I don't deserve it anyway. So you start loathing yourself. So the first thing is, do not ever internalize these outstanding, poor circumstances as something that says something negative about who you are. Second, what people tend to do when something bad happens is they generalize. When one bad thing happens, you guys are in the media. Mm-hmm. What happens? People, if it bleeds, it leads, right? So the idea is when something bad happens in our world, we tend to make everything bad. So not only are we in between jobs, but our family's not that good either, we start telling ourselves. And really, we're not that smart. Well, and this always happens.
But it's a simple comfort situation.
It's changing how you feel.
Right. It's I'm nervous, I'm angry, I'm upset. It isn't just losing your job. It's the dog's annoying me, or my car is on the fritz, or
you start to generalize and look and filter out all the good and look for all the bad. And lastly, they make the situation that they're experiencing something they believe is going to last forever. And when you have that recipe, you set yourself up to be in that defeat whirlpool. So you go to something that's outside of your control. You say it's permanent. I caused it and it's my fault and I'm a bad person and there's nothing I can do to change it. And psychologically, in psychology, we call that learned helplessness, where we feel like, well, what's the point? I've tried everything. I have people every day that come to my office and say, Charles, I've tried everything. I said, that's bull. I've never even met you. So what do you mean that you've tried everything? But we tell ourselves that we've done a lot and we haven't. Okay, and we have to get real. And sometimes it takes someone on the outside to say, "Look, let's get honest. Let's look at where we are and where we want to be." We don't have to drudge up your history. We just have to decide where you want to go.
It's so true. It is so true. When all you have to do is do it.
But consistently.
Yeah.
Look at Oprah Winfrey, someone I really admire. She came from a tremendously challenging background, and yet she's overcome so much. But she still struggles with her weight. You, the famous and the famouser Kelly Jackson here, both work consciously and really over the long haul on taking charge of your health. Why is it so challenging, do you guys think?
I
Kelly,
don't
go
know. If I knew, then I would be.
I know. I have triggers. I have triggers, and there are certain things that sort of trigger me, and it's much better. You know what? I'd much rather have a bowl of popcorn than go and eat a turkey
When you
sandwich.
say triggers, isn't it saying exactly what I'm saying? When you hit something that threatens your sense of control, that then you look to reestablish
but it's
it?
not like, oh my goodness, I lost my job.
No,
Right.
it's minor.
It's, oh my goodness, I got to go fill up the tank. I don't have time for this. I might as well go get a Mounds bar. I mean, I'll justify anything, and it's a good thing I've never tried heroin, because I would never be able to kick the habit, because food is my heroin.
Well, people have some people have a very addictive type of pattern in their personality, and that's what really makes many people very successful.
Right.
They become very focused, and when they get focused on something, they continue and they're consistent. The idea is choosing to be focused on the things that are going to empower you rather than disempower you. I always tell people we don't break habits, we simply replace them. So what you want to do is you ask yourself, what is that Mounds bar in the case of when you don't want to go fill up your gas tank? What's that really providing you with? Is it just giving you a quick boost of energy? Then you've got to ask yourself, why aren't you feeling energized in the first place?
And as soon as you finish eating it, then you feel terrible.
Then your energy's
the
even
thing.
lower.
And so it's like a drug addict. Once the drug addict's high, the drug addict wants to get help then.
Absolutely. You need
So
to take,
interesting.
You need to take some time in between the impulse and the actual action to take charge of this.
All right, Charles, weight loss coach to the stars. You have a book, you have a phone number, you have a website. How do people get a hold of
the
you?
book is called Think and Grow Thin. It's at Amazon.com. It's at my website, charlesdangelo.com. It's across the country at Barnes & Noble. My website's charlesdangelo.com. And then my phone number is 314-495-3228.
Just simple, old-fashioned hard work. Just working on it. No pills, no cream, no shots, no nothing.
And I am going to offer a challenge to Kelly Jackson and McGraw Millhaven. Let's start doing a monthly weigh-in on KTRS 550 TV and have a little challenge. Maybe we can get some sponsors and we can have people that support Kelly.
Well, I'd love to talk about it, but we're out of time. 9 o'clock.